Hey guys, what's going on? Nick Foy here from AskNickFoy.com, and today I want to talk about some of the Pinterest mistakes that people are making and how to avoid making these same mistakes. So the first mistake a lot of people make with Pinterest is they treat it like a social media platform, when in reality it's a search engine. So if you've ever been on the desktop version or on the mobile version, they've got the different search areas. So you've got the main menu search bar up top on desktop, or if you're on mobile, you've got that search button tab that will open up the search feed, and people can type in different phrases, keywords that they're searching for. So in my case, with my golf website, people will get on Pinterest and they'll type golf tips or golf product ideas. They'll type in different things related to golf, and then Pinterest is going to use its smart search feed algorithm to try to determine which pins to rank first in the search feed. So then these people typing in these phrases, they're going to see the list of pins and they're going to get to scroll through the feed looking at all the different pin options that Pinterest is displaying. So to get your pin seen more often, you obviously want to get it near the top of the search feed. You want to get it ranking higher. So a lot of people just treat it like social media. They just get on, randomly post pins just like they randomly post on Instagram and Facebook, and they don't actually try to use it like a search engine. So what I did was I created a course where I'm actually showing people how the Pinterest search algorithm works so that you can try to optimize your profile and your account, your pins, to rank higher in Pinterest. So that's mistake number one, and I'll talk more about the course. It'll be linked below. But in the meantime, the next biggest mistake people make is they aren't being consistent. So Pinterest, they like consistency. They want to promote people's content that is they feel it provides value to the users. So one way Pinterest can track how valuable content is how much engagement your account is getting. And they also track how frequently you're signing in, how often you're pinning. So that's where consistency comes into play. If you're manually logging in every single day, being consistent and pinning multiple times every day, Pinterest is going to recognize this consistency, that you're an active pinner. They're not going to be showing your pins that of some ghost account who never is active. There's a lot of accounts, if you get on there, they look like ghost accounts. It looks like bots are running them because the people don't actively get on and engage on Pinterest. So one way to kind of help improve your ranking in their algorithm is to be consistent, to log in and manually pin. I think I found that manually pinning your pins tend to do better than if you schedule them on an automated scheduler tool. Now I still use Tailwind to schedule pins, but I schedule a lot of other people's pins when I'm sharing other people's content using that scheduler, and I still manually get on and pin my own content from my own blog or website. So that would be my next tip. Be consistent. A big mistake, a lot of people just aren't consistent. They'll log in at different times and they'll mass pin 40 of their own pins from their website, and then they'll take a week off and they'll come back a week later and sign in and mass pin a bunch more. Instead, try to break it up every day, pin 10, 20 pins, be consistent. Now the next tip, another mistake, is the 80-20 rule. I think that's a big mistake. A lot of people say that you should be pinning 80% other people's content, only 20% your content. Now, my big issue with that is, you're using Pinterest to try to promote your stuff, your website. You're trying to drive traffic to your pins. So by promoting other people's content at a 4-to-1 ratio, 80% of the time, you're going to be sending them lots of the traffic that you could be sending to yourself. So I would more try to balance this ratio out. If you want to start at 50-50 and see how it works for you, every time you upload your own pin, you share somebody else's pin, and you want to make sure that you're sharing good pins of somebody else's that's actually going to get repinned, because again, Pinterest looks at how much engagement every pin you put on your account gets. So if you're going to repin other people's stuff, make sure you're repinning good stuff so that you're going to be more likely to get those pins repinned, and that's going to help boost the score of your personal pins that you're linking to your blog. So I would, recommend pinning more of your content than other people's. I typically am the opposite, 80-20. I pin 80% my stuff, 20% other people's stuff. I don't follow an exact rule of thumb. I can't tell you it's exactly 80-20, but I can tell you that, the majority of the stuff I pin is my own pins from my own website, trying to drive them back to blog posts, to sales funnel pages, to email opt-in pages, helpful guides, resources, things like that, that has to do with my brand, my website. And that's how I started seeing a big spike in traffic, was pinning more of my own stuff in high volume, and then making sure that those pins are getting repinned so that it keeps my engagement, my virality score up. So those are some different, things I see people doing wrong. One, they're pinning way too much of other people's stuff. Two, they're not being consistent of getting on Pinterest and pinning. They're just kind of doing random spurts. Another error I see is people that go in and mass delete like 100 pins at once. That kind of throws off the consistency as well. Instead, if you were to get on and be consistent and delete, 5 to 10 pins per day that were underperforming, to try to, get rid of pins that were hurting your profile, instead of going in and mass deleting or mass uploading lots of pins, just be consistent. So that's the next step. And then the big mistake is people using it like a social media platform. They're not actually trying to understand the search engine side of Pinterest and trying to rank their stuff. And then they're wondering why they're not getting any traffic back to their website, why their competition's outranking them. And it's because they're treating it just more like a social media account rather than an actual search engine. So those are some different mistakes. I hope that this was helpful, that you can try to avoid. And again, if you want to learn how to use Pinterest the right way to drive lots of traffic to your website, I've got a course linked below called Profitable Pinterest Traffic that you can check out. If you're interested, you don't have to, but it's just an option below. It's a resource. I think it'll be helpful. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. I upload videos every single week, so that's another favor. If you want to help me grow, help this YouTube account grow, it'll help show me that my content is being helpful to you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video lesson that I upload this week. Take care.